Winter, it's the time of year when it gets cold, and to stave off that cold we need to have a useful and efficient heater, and an LPGas heater is one of those things that will adequately supply you with exactly what it is that you need. But we need to have a look at a couple of the safety features and requirements when using your LPGas Rollabout heater. First of all, we have the cylinder, and it's an integral part. And what we always recommend is that you buy or exchange your LPGas cylinder at a reputable dealer. Okay, what we have here is a seal on the cylinder, and you need to make sure that the seal matches the branding on the cylinder. The reason for that is simple. LPGas cylinders are specifically designed and maintained to ensure your safety. So what you want to do is make sure that you get it from a reputable dealer. To find a reputable dealer, go to the LPGas Association website, and there's a link there that you can follow to find out exactly what you need to do. So check that the seal on the cylinder matches the branding on the cylinder, and you're away. Then what we have is the connection from the heater to the cylinder. And here we have what we call a regulator, and there's a couple of unique things about this regulator. Firstly, what you need to do is make sure that there is a rubber seal on the end of this regulator. That's there to ensure that when the regulator gets fastened into the cylinder, you have a really close airtight seal. So you get no gas leaking. It's imperative. These things can become cracked, brittle, they can split, and they can sometimes even lodge inside the valve of the cylinder. So every time you replace a cylinder or every time you take out your regulator, make sure that this O-ring or bullnose is on the end of the regulator and that it's in good condition. If not, replace it. Couple of rand, that's all you're in for. Okay, when we put the regulator into the cylinder, what we have is a slightly difference in that it is a left-hand thread. So you're going to be fastening it in anti-clockwise. Okay, and it's important to remember that because when you want to take it out, you're going to unscrew it by turning it clockwise. An important point to remember is that we need to check for leaks. Anywhere there's a joint in the system, there's a potential leak point. So what happens is we turn the cylinder on, we open the valve on the cylinder, which will allow the gas all the way through to the point of ignition, but we're not igniting it. So the gas is sitting there. Then we take some soapy water mix. We get those bubbles. The more you mix it, the more bubbles you get. For this application, what we're going to do is we're going to put the soapy water solution on that joint. Now, if there's a leak, we will notice bubbles forming over here. That means there's a problem and we need to address it. So we close the cylinder, make sure it's tightly shut, and then we check that actual joint and make sure it's airtight, leak tight. So what we've done is we've put it all together, we've assembled the heater, we've got the cylinder located inside the cabinet, the backing plate on, the cylinder valve very accessible so it can be turned on or off as and when required. It's not a good idea to have the cylinder outside of the heater because what you have then is a situation where somebody could knock the cylinder over and you could have a problem with gas leak and you don't want that. So remember, the cylinder is placed in the back of the heater in that cabinet. The regulator is attached, and you're good to go. Okay, so now we're ready to turn up the heat. What we're going to do is open the cylinder valve, just the 1.5 turns. And each Rollabout heater type operates in slightly different ways. Always important to read the manufacturer's instructions so you know exactly how to use it. What we have with this one is we have a button which we're going to depress and hold down, and we're going to push the igniter, and there should be an automatic spark that ignites the heater, and it's working. Release the button and it will continue to burn. We have settings here that you can turn up the heat. Okay. So you can work on 1 panel, 2 panels or 3 panels depending on the heat you require. Usually what we would do is put all 3 panels on until the room heats up a little bit and turn it down to either 2 or 1 so that you just maintain that temperature and you don't waste your gas. When you're finished, what you need to do first thing is turn off the cylinder valve. No matter what type of heater you got, turn the cylinder valve off so the gas is not coming through. The residual gas in the pipe is going to be burnt off and you're good to go. On those heaters, when you have another switch to turn off manually here, then you do so. One of the questions we frequently asked is, what do I do if I smell gas? And we're not talking about a tiny little sniff, it's a persistent smell. We need to realize that there's an odorant specifically added to LP gas, just for that reason, so that if you smell it, you know there's a leak. So what do? The first thing you do is close the cylinder valve. With the cylinder valve closed, no more gas. Then, if possible, get your Rollabout heater outdoors, and always remember, open doors and windows so you get fresh air in your room so that you get rid of any residual gas. Hopefully we've given you a good idea on how to operate your LPGas Rollabout heater safely and correctly. If you need any more information, the LPGas Safety Association number appears on your screen now.